Hello Internet and welcome to the Sounds of Stadia post show, episode number 22 on the Christmas Eve. I've said it too many times already now. What is it? Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve.
We haven't decided yet when this is going to go live, but most post shows obviously go live for our patrons early. If you want to watch this show up to 5 days early, you can do so over at patreon.com/Sounds of Stadia. If you want to wait for free feeds, we drop it later on in the week for all to watch and enjoy. And this week we've got the return of Tom joining us once again. His triumphant return. It's a Christmas miracle, as we said on the main show. And the man of many pixels, Richie, joins us once again in his very festive attire to play Stadia video game 20 questions. Tom, I know you've been dyingly desperate to play this game, having watched both Rock and Sunny have a go at this. Here we are, special Christmas edition of the post show. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe down below. And the team this week consists of Richie and Tom. I was going to say taking on me, but it's not really. I just basically pick a game from a list and answer yes or no questions. But if you are not familiar with the way this game works, for the rules of the people watching along, I'm going to choose a Stadia game from the Stadia Games library, and it is Tom and Richie's job, using only yes or no questions, 20 to be precise, to funnel down, isolate which game I'm thinking of. There are a few caveats, of course, gentlemen. You can't talk about podcast-specific questions because that's unfair on the audience. You can't just guess 20 games in a row hoping you get it right by luck. And this week we've added in another rule just to tighten the screw a little bit more. We're not going to be able to use any references. So, Richie, close down that Stadia Store library. Put yourself in your little Jedi mind temple, gentlemen. That's not a clue, by the way, of the game. Or is it? You'll never know. You'll never know. We've got 19 questions to guess and one question at the very end to guess the title of the game. I think, Tom, you should probably get us started off with it being your first time playing this. I have my trusty notebook and pen.
Don't let me down.
Don't let me down.
So I believe the current record currently sits at 17 questions.
That is the least in which we've got it, yes.
All right. Let's try and blow this thing wide open then.
The game is afoot.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's a hand.
All right. Let's
you don't know what it is.
Exactly.
No, that's a question, Richie.
That doesn't count.
I've just marked it down.
Ooh,
if we're playing for the record, then you got to play the game. It's 20 questions, and that was a question.
Play by the rules. Okay. Is the game fronted by a main male protagonist?
Yes.
Okay. What would you do if this is actually Jedi Fallen Order? He's just been trying to throw us off the scent.
I'm looking for cheeky clues like the colour of like the glow on his face from the screen.
Well, I'm on Wikipedia, so good luck with that.
All right.
Is the character customizable?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
I'm also just going to start smiling at random intervals so you think, have we touched something? Have we not? Because I feel like I can mask it more if I just smile constantly as opposed to when you say a correct thing.
Is this game set in the future?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Customizable main male character that isn't set in the future. Right. I'm actually struggling here.
See, as soon as we take that list away from you, your brain goes to shit.
What is a lot of the games that have customizable characters usually let you customize gender as well. So even stuff like Assassin's Creed, is it like customizable gender? Is Immortals Phoenix Rising is female only, isn't it?
But it depends again which Assassin's Creed games we're talking about, because if it's one of the
I think Valhalla.
Yeah.
Valhalla's out. Origins, is that customizable gender? I know Odyssey
is. I've not played Origins, so I can't actually confirm. I don't think there is though. I don't remember any sort of like marketing media around Origins being.
Oh, I think Origins might be male only because I'm sure part of the story is to do with his wife. I'm sure there's stuff in.
If you want to ask me a question specific to Origins, I'm happy to answer, but it does burn one of your questions.
I was gonna say, let's not waste that one yet. Yeah. I mean, we could ask the
I'm just trying to muse out down to what a couple of ideas before I try use a question.
I mean, do you blow it open by asking like the Ubisoft question? I mean, I don't know.
Go for it if you want, Tom.
Okay. All right. We'll blow some out of the water here then. Hopefully, is the game made by Ubisoft?
No.
Okay. All right.
So there's all the Assassin's Creed franchise out. Watch Dogs
all
is
Far Cry. Yeah.
Far Cry's out. Customizable character.
Yeah. Not in the future.
Not in the future.
So it could be present or past then.
That was 5 questions, by the way, gentlemen.
Yeah. The thing is, there's some like Star Wars is one that could throw us a bit because that's while futuristic is set a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean,
I knew you were going to go back to that.
I wasn't going back to it for the joke. I was actually genuinely like thinking like stuff like that futuristic can be also actually set in the past.
I think it's a good point to make, but I think that would outrage a lot of people listening.
Yeah.
While I completely agree with that.
Yeah, the character is male and customizable to a certain degree, because although you can't build your actual character, you can put cosmetics over them.
We don't know what sort of genre the game is yet.
No. Does this have RPG elements?
No.
Well, there's finally ruled out Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. Okay. So Richie, this is a question to Richie, not to Chris, just to confirm. Okay.
Not a question, just to be on the offside.
Yeah, this is a discussion. This is a sidebar right now.
Okay.
So just to confirm, RPG elements, Richie, are we talking about things like skill trees,
Yes.
a leveling up progression sort of system? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Nothing of that sort there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in some ways, RPGs don't exist that much anymore. A lot of action adventure games.
That's
tend to have
sometimes,
RPG elements.
That's when you mention it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, like it covers such a broad
That's why
stroke.
It's because if I went, is it an RPG? You could argue something like even something Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
You could argue, is it or is it not?
So I'm going to tell you where my head's suddenly going. I'm leaning towards the Hitman franchise right now. That's where I'm going instinctively.
Is the character customizable though? I suppose it's loadout.
Again, in the sense that you can pick your loadouts before a mission, but again, I don't know whether that's considered customizable.
That's why I would say questions should be very specific.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I can only say yes or no.
When I think customizable, I'm thinking character creation, customizable.
Yeah. I'm with you there. He's going to start getting really tricky with these answers.
I can only say yes or no. That's my thing.
At the very least, at least cosmetic items which you can choose to put that are not functional. So Hitman's cosmetic stuff is functional within the game, so I would say that's customizable. It's part of the core mechanics. But that depends on Chris's definition.
Yeah.
A male lead that is customizable at least to some degree. It isn't a Ubisoft title.
It's not futuristic. It's not
it's
set
not
in the future.
It's not set in the future. What else have you asked? I wasted a question.
No RPG elements.
No RPG elements.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to nail down all the games that have got sort of like a male protagonist now.
Surprisingly few, actually.
Yeah.
Or most games tend to go with customizable gender.
Main male protagonist. I mean, the Serious Sam.
Does that?
But I don't know whether that's considered futuristic or not.
Is that even is your character even customizable?
No. That's a good point. Yeah,
like...
that writes Serious Sam off. Oh man. Oh, not being able to look at your library. This is tough. I'm trying to think back through like my entire list of games.
Sometimes it's just scrolling through your library to kind of get. Is the game predominantly multiplayer?
No.
Not predominantly multiplayer, but there could still be a multiplayer element to it. So it's okay.
I feel like I wasted a question, to be honest.
You kind of asked the question and then immediately went, but that could mean.
I think, I probably could have phrased it better to cut out more stuff, but
oh man,
I didn't,
okay.
So...
Oh, damn. Let's think. Dig deep. Have you had any thoughts yet on on any franchises?
Nope. I'm literally out blank.
Okay. Is the game part of a series? I.e., is there a 1 or 2 or 3, etc., something like that?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not a standalone game.
I'm just really drawing a blank. I believe I have it.
Ah!
Oh, damn it, Tom! I'm completely at a loss. Like, I'm trying to think. Like,
all right, at least
one that's come to my head, which I don't think it can be, is Doom. I don't think it can be Doom because I don't think there's any customizability in your character.
I think Doom is actually futuristic as well.
Doom is actually Doom is set in the future.
Doom is futuristic. I'm
also thinking Final Fantasy, but I'm just thinking, is this because there's Final Fantasy 15 is the male lead?
That's true.
That isn't from Ubisoft.
True. But RPG elements.
But yeah, well, I mean...
So that wipes it straight out.
Completely. I mean, the game is an RPG, full stop. Like...
Okay, right. Do I just eliminate these games? Do I just eliminate them by... I don't want to waste a question. I'm not going to waste a question.
If you have an idea of what game, a couple of games...
No, because I feel like we've discussed it and I feel like it's not the Hitman franchise.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. I'm trying to think, what else could it be?
We don't even have a clue what sort of genre it is yet.
I'm trying to think of other...
Or even...
that's very true.
Or even the size of the game. We don't even know if it's a AAA or an indie.
Right. Do we want to narrow that down more?
I think we can if we can cut out...
Think carefully about the question.
Is it an indie game?
Yes.
Right, so all the AAAs are off the board then.
Right, now I'm gonna struggle.
I was kind of hoping it would go the other way.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Right, indie games. Main male protagonist. Indie games, main male protagonist, customizable.
I'm actually thinking Monster Boy here at the moment.
Ooh,
Monster
RPG.
Boy.
Oh no, there's no skill trees or anything in Monster Boy.
But it doesn't have RPG elements.
Customizable only in the sense that your gear changes your appearance when you were.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's customizable because that's a mechanic rather than just cosmetic. You're not picking. You're not making customizability. That's
when we talk about customizability, we're talking about that as sort of like character creation pre-game, aren't we? Yeah.
Character creation pre-game, or at the very least, just purely cosmetic choices within the game. So, like, I'd argue like Jedi Fallen Order with like the ponchos and stuff. That's customizable.
Can I just confirm that asking a question about how many questions we've got left is not counted as a question?
I'll give you updates on the sequential marks. So you're up to 10 questions at the moment, gentlemen.
Wow, okay. Right. Just wanted to make sure that asking that did not result in us losing a question. Of course,
The problem is there's so many indie games.
Yes or no. Yeah, there are a lot of indie games. The main male protagonist bit is the bit that's standing out the most to me at the moment.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think is going to... Now, it's an indie title with a main male protagonist, so I'm just trying to think through. You are right with Monster Boy, but again, there's other elements that don't fit that. But what other indie titles have come out? I can't even remember with Farming Simulator whether you can create your characters. It's part of a series. It's part of a series.
It is, but I'd argue Farming Simulator doesn't have a protagonist. Because to have a protagonist, you kind of need a story.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Farmer Giles.
Oh, man.
What did we call our farmer before?
Farmer Sausage, wasn't it? Sausage.
It was Farmer Sausage and Frodo the dog.
Yeah.
That's a throwback to our first ever live stream.
Indie titles. Indie main male protagonist. Customizable.
I'm struggling. I really am.
I'd just like to point out previous 20 questions game shows. You guys, the guests were basically wrapping up now when we were discussing the game. Yeah. We're 17 minutes in, so by now the other two guests had probably got it.
We've done a bit more debating backwards and forwards and less question asking. We've got plenty of questions, so it might be worth...
Do you want to give us a recap rundown, Richie? Because I know you write the questions down, right?
I haven't actually this episode, so I missed it. So right. I wasted a question. Tom wasted a question. It's a male protagonist.
Yes.
That isn't predominantly online. Isn't from Ubisoft. Doesn't have RPG elements, but does have some sort of character customizability.
Not set in the future.
Not set in the future.
Yeah. Part of a series.
It's part of a series, and it's an indie.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like if I could have the entire list of games and just plug all of them as filters, to be like one left.
I know. So I think we should start. Using some of these questions then.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, is it? Oh no, I can't ask that question. No, I'll ask the question. Is it a first-person shooter?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel that's a wasted question when we're talking indies.
Yeah. You never know. There's a lot of shooters on Stadia.
There is and there isn't.
Yeah.
But that's a podcast for a different thing. We're already trying to move this forward. The problem I have with asking genre questions, because I was just thinking platformers there, is there's a lot of games that span multiple genres now. So you don't just get discrete, this is a platformer, this is an RPG, this is first-person shooter. They tend to blend them a bit.
Yeah. Ooh,
so if I ask something like, is this a platformer? And it is, you might get maybe sort of answer rather than a clear cut yes or no. Oh God, how many indie games have come out?
Do you want me to answer that?
Oh, wait a second.
Yes or no?
I think, does it have a retro vibe?
Yes.
I think I want something here.
Ooh.
I'm thinking Hotline Miami.
Oh, okay. Can you customize? Can you?
You can. You can get the different heads for when you start the missions. So you can wear like a chicken head or a bull's head and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Is that not part of a series?
It is part of a series.
Oh, they
It's
shouldn't
not
have
a
it.
first-person shooter. It's male character. It's not online. It doesn't have RPG elements.
Remember the question about online was we asked, is it not prominently online?
Yeah, predominantly. So
Predominantly online. Yeah.
which I think the indie question kind of supersedes that anyway, apart from things like Outcasters. See, there's things like
man.
Harder than it looks, right?
It's really tough. This is really tough.
I'm leaning towards Hotline Miami, but there's two of them, so we need to isolate one of them somehow without just wasting a question.
So surely we could ask.
I don't know enough about the differences between the games.
No, I mean surely we could just try and rule it out by asking Chris the question. Is it the first of its series?
Yes.
Okay. So it's part of a series and it's the first of the series. But if we guess the game and we're wrong, is that it?
That is, yeah. If you say is it the game and it's wrong, it's game over. Game
So
over.
how many indie games actually have sequels?
On Stadia.
So, I'm thinking the next question is. I asked if it was a first-person shooter. Is it a top-down shooter?
Yes.
Can I just ask the question? Should I risk it?
I mean, you've got 6 more questions left.
All right. What was the record? It was 17, wasn't it?
17,
That's a question for Tom, not for you, Chris.
Yeah, I figured.
So, so if we've got 6 more questions left, that means we're currently on 14. So to get the record, we've got 2 more questions. Well, actually, no, we've got 1 question, really, if we want to beat the record. Does it have a neon color scheme?
The whole game?
That's
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, that's a very broad question.
All right. Do you want me?
Could you be more specific, please? Question enterer.
Participant, enter your question.
Can I just change the question?
Yeah.
Or do I have to narrow it down?
No, you can just change it.
All right. Is the game set in the 80s?
Yes.
Are you sold on it now, Richie?
I don't know which one it is, though. Oh, actually, no, we do.
Yes, we do know which one it is.
Should I go for it, Tom? Should I ask?
I'm scared of getting it wrong.
Same.
5 questions left. 5 questions left. That's 15 you've asked.
I think we should. I think. Are you pretty? Main male protagonist. Let's run through it. Let's just run through it again. Main male protagonist, customizable.
Check. Yes.
Not set in the future.
Yes.
It's not an Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
There are no RPG elements to it.
Yeah.
It is a single-player game, or not predominantly online.
Yeah.
It's part of a series. It's the first in the series. It's an indie game. Top-down shooter, not first-person.
Game.
Retro.
It's set in the 80s.
It's set in the 80s. I can't think of anything else on Stadia that ticks those boxes.
That's a very small demographic of games.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, Richie, you say it. Oh, okay, I'll do it. Okay. Is it Hotline Miami?
It is Hotline Miami. Well done, gentlemen.
Yes.
Well done.
Wow. Done. Okay, that was tough. That was tough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It is. Hotline Miami is a top-down shooter video game, collectively known from Dennerton Games. The game was published by Devolver Digital, so it is an indie title, released on October 23rd, 2012.
Wow.
Set in 1989 Miami, the game revolves primarily around an unnamed silent protagonist dubbed Jacket, who has been receiving coded messages on answering machines instructing him to commit massacres across the local against the local Russian mafia, inspired by 1980s culture with soundtrack and visuals. And obviously it came to Stadia quite recently, along with its sequel, Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number. Well done.
That it did.
And
Wow.
we did the first look as part of our anniversary stream.
We did indeed. You did the first look, Richie. But no, great question, guys. You got there. Just think how quick you would have got it if you hadn't ruined 2 questions on.
That's true.
That would have been 14. So well done. 16 is the new record to beat.
Wow.
So yeah, we do next week. Well, we take on video game 20 questions. Well done. Did you enjoy that, Tom?
Loved it. It's far more stressful being on this side of the camera, though.
I know. I'm now scary flipping roles for our New Year's post show.
Oh,
where I have to ask the questions because I know without anything in front of me, I'm going to be bad as well. But at least I don't have to withhold my poker face and try not to smile anymore. But yeah,
off your camera.
Exactly. Yeah, turn off my camera. So thank you everyone who stopped by for this week's post show. It's been great. It's been great having Tom back playing the game. Obviously, this is Christmas Eve, so everybody go out there, have a great Merry Christmas, and all the best from everyone here at Sounds of Stadia. Thank you very much for tuning in throughout the year. My name's been Chris.
I've been Tom.
And I've been Richie.
We've been Sounds of Stadia. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Game on. Have fun. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.